Shakespeare.
Alas.
Alas, 'tis I not. I 'tis not. 'Tis he in...
To sheet or not to sheet? That is the question, not the answer. Were that a more noble... I don't know any Shakespeare. That's fucking all I got.
Deny thy father and refuse thy name. I would rather be a
Deny
drunk.
thy whiskey and refuse thy beer. What drunkard doth I proclaim to be? But soft.
What light from yonder bar window break? 'Tis the east. And bar closing, last call is the west.
Oh man. I hope you're still recording. Okay. I'm stopping.
Me too.
Hello, Frog residents. Kermit speaking. Oh, hello, Mr. Iger. Yes, sir, it's an honor to speak with you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I have heard of the Three Sheets to the Mouse podcast. Yeah, I guess they're funny, but I don't really approve of their language. It's not something that me and Piggy want our little tadlets to be listening to. But, Fozzie, he loves them. I'm sorry, Mr. Iger, what do you mean you thought I could use the work? It's closing? Torn down? Galaxy's Edge? Now you listen here. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I'll just bend over and take it. If you tear down Muppet Vision, I'll shove more than just a hand in your butt, Bob.
Sounds sorted, but you'll be rewarded when at last I am given my dues. And injustice deliciously squared, be prepared.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 249 of Three Sheets to the Mouse. We're the podcast that likes to focus on the adult side of Disney. From parks to movies to dining, we'll cover everything Disney has to offer, including their drinks. I'm Mikey, and tonight I'm joined by only Maria.
Hi.
I mean, the one and only Maria.
There definitely does not need to be two of me in the world, so
Nope.
Thank God there is only one.
Would that be Miriam? If there were two, or Marie?
Maria?
Like Mariah on fire?
No.
No.
No. I don't know. Maria's is?
I like Miriam.
Maria.
Mauricium.
Okay.
That sounds like a bacteria.
Yeah, that definitely. No.
We are sans Tim and Adam because they're coming down to crunch time, getting things ready at the house and packed up, and just, everything that goes into going on a back-to-back Disney cruise with maybe a little time spent in the bubble when they get. So yeah, they I'll be in that mode next week.
Yeah.
The mode they're in right now, and I'm hella nervous because I'm so unprepared.
Do you have your packing list? Or is
We
Stephanie?
don't even have show notes. Why would I have a packing list? She's not shipping me to fucking Florida.
Does Stephanie have a packing list?
Yeah, I printed it off, taped it on her ass. I'm just gonna drop her off at FedEx tomorrow morning.
And be like,
On my
can you
way
just
into
get
the
her there
office.
by this date? What's that shipping cost me?
Well, it all depends on if I can cram her in the box.
Well,
She'd have no problem cramming me in the box.
that okay. Because you're flexible?
Sure.
Okay.
I was going to say it's a good thing. It's just the two of us
Yes.
tonight, because that means that we can get right into what are you drinking, and we can get right out of what are you drinking.
That's right. There's only 2 of us to tell.
There are only 2 drinks being had. Well, I don't know. You normally have something on deck, and then you've got something in the dugout and fucking a pinch hitter. I can't ever go with you.
No, I have the same thing. I just have 2 drinks tonight. I actually started drinking today at about 1:00. I had some wine because I was discussing it in a group with some of our Sheeter gals.
Sounds like some delinquents, if you ask me.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. So I said, you know what? I'm going to pour myself a little glass of wine. So I just had a little glass.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
But would that wine have been from a Nichols vineyard?
Absolutely.
You fucking wonderful person. I've got... No, he said I need to drink his daddy's wine, and I haven't. Stephanie won't let me open it.
Is it the Barry's Legacy?
Yes.
It's very, very good.
I know, but he said he has plenty, and I should get into it.
He
does. I should probably get into it.
Yeah. No, I was drinking one of their bottles of Syrah. That's what I opened. It is so good.
All of it's so good.
I know. I opened it a couple days ago, so I have to finish it before it turns.
Yeah.
So I probably have a day or 2 left on that, and then
I've got faith in you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna struggle to finish it.
Right.
I'm just saying
that
I need to finish it.
In.
Yeah. No. No. I was real pissed because our dog knocked over one of the bottles and broke it. So I'm down a bottle. And I was already down a bunch of bottles because I've been drinking it. So
right. Right. Well, that's just a waste.
Yeah.
So you can write that off.
I'm hoping. But tonight I have Corona Premier with a lime.
Oh.
And then I have the same thing on deck. Just 2 beers tonight.
Okay.
So
okay. Going back to Misty Creek and Shan's Pappy's Vineyard, why didn't we do some kind of GoFundMe OnlyFans thing just for 3 Sheets Nation to just buy that thing?
I know, right?
And then we would have had our own
Who
vineyard.
would have run that? Who would have been in charge of running that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
They'd have had to deal with all of us plus
that would have been
2,000 of our closest friends.
Closest.
That everybody
Own
threw
a
in
percent.
$1,000.
0.5%. Yeah.
We'd have been on Shark Tank.
It would have been bad.
With Mark Cuban and the little guy. Oh.
What are you drinking?
Well, I was running around like a chicken with his head cut off all night doing back to school shit. I came home, didn't have time to put anything together. I just decided, you know what? I was going to have one of my cocktail fizz bomb things that I've been working through.
Oh,
but
right.
Instead, I just decided rum and coke.
Never let you down.
Just got some silver rum, not even a good rum, and Diet Dr. Thunder, not even a good soda. It's just, that's the kind of mood I'm in.
That's all right.
And here I am.
That's okay. It's almost a good drink. Kind of like our topic tonight is almost Disney related. Was that a good tie-in? I
would say, it is 100% Disney unrelated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I would be perfectly fine sitting down with my ghetto ass drink and partaking of any of these ghetto ass films. We're going to be discussing.
Wait a minute. You cannot call these films ghetto ass because some of these, I fucking grew up on these films.
Well, let's see. Okay. Case in point, what you just said. Discussing this topic with my my youngest son. He's 16. He's like, what are y'all talking about tonight? Because I was like, man, you're fucking making me late going to your school orientation. And I was like, well, here, and I'll, you know what, dear listener, I'll go ahead and tell you. We're looking at some things that people swear are Disney movies, but they aren't Disney movies. And
nope.
And you think you know Disney, but do you know not Disney?
Right.
If you just say everything is Disney and no one says it's not, then than it is. So I was telling him that's what we're talking about. He's like, oh, so like trolls? I'm like,
No.
well, I mean, in this day and age, some folks get it. I can see that. Same thing with anything with anything
true.
with a minion in it too. Whatever. But that's literally across the street down there.
Yeah.
But most of the films that the animated features we're going to be discussing tonight, if you're not of a certain age, this won't mean a damn thing to you.
No. Well, and a lot of these, we're in our 40s. So these are movies that we grew up with that when you're a kid, it doesn't matter who makes the fucking movie. You like it and it's animation or it's live action or whatever it is. And you like it, so you watch it. It doesn't matter what movie house put it out, like what company put it out. But I just assumed that everything growing up it's Disney. I didn't know the difference between the different animation houses. I still don't really know.
And I'm a bit more jaded when it comes to film because like I'm a huge nerd when it comes to film and movies and stupid trivia and stuff like that. So I knew a lot of the items we're going to talk about tonight weren't Disney, but there are some that I was like, man, I still can't believe that's not Disney because it just feels Disney.
Right.
It just looks Disney. Like, and if it's not, then fucking they screwed up and they should have done it.
Well, and the thing is that Disney was the first. So I think by default, everything that comes after it, oh, that feels like Disney. Well, that's because Disney was the fucking pioneer and nobody had done this before. He built this empire. And so everybody that comes after that, it feels like a copycat. So now there are a lot of these movies that this is just part one. There's definitely going to be a part two. We're focusing today on certain companies. And of those companies, we're focusing on 4 movies for each of them. Am I correct? Right? Did I read that right?
I mean, I got.
Oh, you have 5.
I got a couple.
Yeah. Okay.
But
mine has 4. Yours has 5.
It's not like well, technically, yours has like 40 because one of them has 60 different, or that math doesn't compute fucking at all.
No.
But one of them they made like 8 of.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking. It's a little Disney misconception, a little disconception, because when it comes to people who are diehard Disney fanatics, some of them love nothing more than correcting people who are wrong when they try to associate or assume something not Disney is Disney. And we're not here to correct anybody. We're here to say, check this out. I'll be damned. I thought it was Disney too.
Right.
So, without further ado, I'll jump in first.
Go for it.
A lot of what I'm going to be covering comes from a guy. I don't know. He's kind of an indie filmmaker.
He's not well known at all.
No. He's new to the scene.
Very.
And I think he's got like 3 movies out. This guy named Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
He's an up and comer.
Oh, okay.
I expect him to be one of the movers and shakers in Hollywood.
Oh, see, I
soon.
thought maybe a flash in the pan.
No,
you don't think so?
I think he has some staying power.
Okay.
And
would that happen to start in the 80s, like the 70s and 80s? Is that when his staying power is going to start?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's going to never stop once his name gets put on something.
Pretty much.
Listen, if you don't know who Steven Spielberg is, you can just
get the fuck
go
out.
Find something else to do.
Yeah, you don't. What are you doing?
It's everything. If you watched it in the 80s and it had visual effects in it and science fiction involved in it, he was probably in it. Matter of fact, if you watched it in the 80s and
It was mostly him. By the way, if they don't know who Steven Spielberg is, they certainly are not listening to this podcast.
Right?
I don't like if you don't know like the apex of pop culture, you certainly don't know us.
They know who Steven Spielberg is because they watched Ready Player One.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Or the reboot of the Animaniacs and fucking Tiny Toons. But Steven Spielberg, and when he started his own, I guess, production company, I think it was Amblin Pictures or whatever. That was definitely he did that with E.T. and a lot of his other films, and then that kind of morphed into an animation thing called Amblimation, and that was based out of the United Kingdom, and then that morphed into obviously DreamWorks, the animation portion of DreamWorks, which now we're talking something people know about, because I mean, who hasn't seen Shrek and other DreamWorks animations?
How to Train Your Dragon.
There's so many. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah. That's it's a hot commodity. So, DreamWorks puts out. I mean, they put out great films and animations. Not really what I'm going to get into. This my first one is going to be one that came out. In the 90s. An Amblimation one, and it's Balto, about the dog, the sled dog. Okay.
I will say that this is one that does not look Disney, but it feels like it should be a Disney movie for the simple fact that it is an animal.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah, they're anthropomorphizing the animals here, and it does have some truth to it in history. If you don't know, Balto is the movie's loosely based on the true story of a dog by the same name who helped save a bunch of kids with diphtheria during the 1925 serum run in Alaska. I will go on record and say one of the first movies I watched on Disney Plus when it came out is the movie Togo.
Oh.
Which tells the true story of the actual hero, not this motherfucker who came in second place but got credit for it all. Balto got the statue, but Togo's the one who did all the shit and everything. And I'm telling you right now, probably one of the best movies on Disney Plus nobody's watching. Just you should absolutely
I haven't seen
watch
Togo.
that. Oh my god, it is so good.
Really?
I'm blanking on the main actor because it's live action.
I was just going to say, is it live action?
It's live action with real dogs. None of that fucking Harrison Ford with a CG dog bullshit.
So it's like Homeward Bound. Like it's the actual.
I mean, they don't talk.
Right.
No. It's not like they're it ain't a fucking talk dog. It's more like
White
it's
Cat.
more. Okay, except real.
Well, yes, that's what. Yeah.
And it's Willem Dafoe. Do you need any other reason to watch it?
He is creepy as fuck.
But it is an amazing movie. But I digress. Balto, 1995, Steven Spielberg, Amblimation. They put it out, and it was a complete financial disappointment when it came out in 1995 because Walt Disney Pictures had a little low-budget flick come out in 1995 thanks to Pixar called Toy Story.
Oh, yeah.
But
it's too bad that didn't do very well.
The VHS sales for Balto were fantastic. It went on to get mixed reviews from critics, but it did well enough on home video and direct, or home video, that it spawned 2 sequels that went direct to video, none of which had the original voice cast. Which listen to this cast. Listen to this cast. Kevin Bacon.
No shit.
Bridget Fonda.
What?
Jim Cummings.
Wait a minute.
I'm not even done yet.
Oh my god.
I'm not even done yet. Phil Collins in 2 roles.
What? God, I love him.
Bob Hoskins. Super
Ah.
Mario himself.
I love him.
Eddie Valiant was in this, and
Oh my God.
Miriam Margolyes.
What?
Yeah. Now, it is an animated film, but it does have some live action bits shot in New York City's Central Park. It's kind of like a fade in, fade out kind of thing to kind of ground it, even though it's, again, loosely based on a true story. So you had to have something to kind of ground it in.
Wow.
But because it's talking critters, came out honestly about the same time, and of course produced by Amblimation thing, and then distributed by Universal, which this is, again, a lot of DreamWorks stuff goes through Universal, so
Right.
this really opened the door. It was the first. No, never mind. Something else was the first. So yeah. As is always the case, if you're not first, you're last.
Yep.
But yeah, if you've not checked out Balto, don't, because you just need to go watch the live action Togo, and it's an amazing. Let's just talk about Togo. Anyway,
Wow.
that's my first one from the land of Spielberg.
Jeez. All right. Well, the
Top that.
you got I mean, yours only had 2 sequels. My first one had like 85,000.
That's good, actually. That wins, I think.
Yeah, right. That's the legitimate number, 85,000. So Don Bluth, who began his tenure as an animator with Walt Disney, and kind of like came on as, I want to say he wasn't an intern. He was more like an apprentice to some of the 9 Old Men. And one of his, he worked during the 70s, and one of the films that he worked on was Fox and the Hound, and he did some stuff for Winnie the Pooh, and he animated Rabbit, and he worked on The Rescuers, and he was doing stuff for Pete's Dragon, and then he wanted to do some other stuff, and Disney pretty much was like, I think you're good. Like where you're at. And he pretty much said, all right, I'm gonna do this on my own then. So
And they said, good luck.
yeah, right.
We wish you well.
Yeah. So
well.
he started his own animation company. And you know what is so funny? I was looking for the name of it, and you don't find it anywhere in his Wikipedia page until you get to this first movie. And so his company's name was Sullivan Bluth Studios. And the first movie is The Land Before Time. Now, this is a movie that I distinctly remember watching in a movie theater with my dad and my 2 siblings, because dad is the one that always took us to the movies. My mom stayed home to get some quiet time without the 3 of us kids running around. The production studios were also Amblin Entertainment, Lucasfilm, and Universal Pictures.
Yep.
Those were the producers, along with Sullivan Bluth Studios. So, Land Before Time, I feel like every kid who went through the 80s saw, at least, if they didn't see the entire film, know that it is a gut-wrenchingly heartbreaking, stab you in the chest, painful experience, because you watch the main character's mother die. It is awful. And one of the things that really, like, kind of you can see as a theme in all of these movies, we don't watch her die, she dies off screen. But one of the themes that you see in all of these movies is that they're probably different from Disney in the way that they are more violent.
Yeah.
It's
the animation style isn't as caricature-like.
no,
You know, it's got more like more defined lines, and it has that bit of. I mean, I guess it's just it feels more raw,
right.
so everything ends up being more visceral.
Right.
You know, and yeah, they handle that subject matter a little bit differently, I guess, than Disney does.
Yeah, I mean it came out in 1988. It was followed by 13 direct-to-video sequels. 13. That's almost Toy Story is almost
When was the 13th? When was the last one released? Do you have that?
there. 2016.
So, okay, yeah,
So that's kind of ridiculous.
it's a
They
lot. It's
had
a long time for dinosaurs.
a TV series, a video game, soundtracks, merchandise. It's
It had merchandise because
absolutely.
and I absolutely have to touch on this because obviously I'm a dinosaur nerd at heart, so I was infatuated with this when I was a kid, and my mom at the time works for Pizza Hut, who was a huge partner
Oh my God,
with
yes.
the first movie when it came out. I had all the puppets.
Oh my God.
I had all the little rubber puppets.
And I bet you don't have them anymore.
Shit, no, my
Oh,
dog ate them
man.
'cause I played with them.
Oh, right.
But
yeah.
I had Littlefoot, I had Ducky, and I had Spike, fucking Sarah. I had them all.
It is definitely something that fucking Sarah. There's no Sarah. Oh yeah, there is.
Oh.
There is.
Ah! She's literally the Triceratops.
Yeah, you're right. I loved Ducky. Ducky was my
Wait till they remake this in live action.
well, not by Disney because
Well,
I'm
no.
sure they'll own it eventually.
Definitely by DreamWorks
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Spielberg.
Yeah.
He said,
So-
well, I've done Jurassic Park.
I don't think I had a moment when I realized that it wasn't Disney. I just kind of always knew that it didn't fall under the umbrella, but it still kind of does because Steven Spielberg kind of falls under the umbrella. And Don Bluth kind of falls under the umbrella. They've all worked with Disney, and Don Bluth worked for Disney for a while. I don't know. I'd be okay with The Land Before Time coming to Disney Plus. If sometime later. Along with the other movies I'm going to talk about. So, but that's my first one, Land Before Time.
Hey, speaking of Spielberg,
Yeah.
let's go back to Spielberg.
Okay.
And let's move forward to 1998. Another one that gets kind of mixed up, and folks sometimes think it's a Disney flick, would be The Prince of Egypt.
I loved the song.
And first off, fantastic soundtrack
Oh my
going on with
God.
this.
So good.
Now, this was the first feature film by DreamWorks to be hand animated. And if you don't know, The Prince of Egypt is the story of basically Moses being the Prince of Egypt and his destiny to lead the Jewish people out of Egypt. Now, visually, this has a Disney feel to it.
Yeah.
And it tells a story of, personal growth that Moses had. And I think another huge reason this has that that looks like a Disney movie. Comes down to Jeffrey Katzenberg, little guy that was prominent with Disney. While he was working for Disney, he decided to try to put the idea into production, or he suggested to Disney what about an animated adaptation of the Ten Commandments film? And Disney's like, nah.
You see that?
Don't see that
You see
going
that
over
Bible
very well.
stuff? We steer clear of that. That's no.
Hey, no one's going to see that. No one wants to go to the theater for church. So he decided, you know what? Forget you guys. And he co-founded DreamWorks Pictures. There's the answer to that from earlier that no one here listening is privy to.
Yeah, right.
He co-founded DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg in '94. And he decided, hey, can I start a company for you to make animated movies? And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. Good, because here's the movie I want to make, because they told me no. But if I have the company, then you can't tell me no, because it's my company. And he decided to put together The Prince of Egypt. And was really well received. Had 350 people from 34 countries working on it. It kind of blended traditional animation and CG, but it was the first one that from DreamWorks that had traditional animation on it. Again, Hans Zimmer did the music, so the score is fantastic.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the cast of this that people miss out on if you haven't seen it. Val Kilmer.
No way.
Haven't heard much from him lately, but that's because he's got the...
Poor guy.
What is that? Is that Voldemort? Ralph Fiennes? Or is that pronounced Ray Fiennes?
Ray Fiennes, yes.
Yeah.
That is.
Yes, Avocadabra. Actually, what's funny is when...
I make myself laugh so hard when I do that.
Hang on. Even better. When he sees Moses, he gets to say, "The boy who lived."
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh, my God. That is so blasphemous. Don't walk outside. Lightning will strike you.
Talking to Michelle Pfeiffer?
What?
Sandy Bullock.
What? Oh, my God. I can't even.
Big Daddy Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, he is the best.
Danny Glover.
Shut the fuck up. I need to watch this movie again.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oh my God.
Lady Helen Mirren.
Did he call in like every favor that it gets better? Oh God.
Two Martins. Steve and Short.
Oh my God. What? Wait, were they the comedic relief?
I mean, that had to be.
I had to be.
So basically, this is only attempted murders in the building.
Yeah, right?
I guess is what you'd... Only attempted murdered princes in the building is the podcast
hysterical.
For this. It's... Yeah. It's funny when you read through the information about this. It says, based on the book of Exodus.
Based on.
Based on. It's some Old Testament stuff.
Just like loosely related to.
About the soundtrack included a song by Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey.
I remember watching the Academy Awards that year and watching them perform this on stage.
Yep.
I don't remember if it won or not, but I remember watching it happen.
It won a single Academy Award.
What was it for? Was it for the song?
I don't know. I mean, I can scroll down and find out if you'll give me a moment.
That's okay.
Good. Don't give me a moment.
Nope.
Accolades. Academy Award won for original song, When You Believe.
Yeah.
There you go. But, I can see why you might think it's Disney, because it was presented to Disney and they passed on it, and then it,
And literally every person involved was a powerhouse in their own right.
It may or may not have tripled its budget in the box office.
I'm sure.
A budget of $70 million, we're going to do 218.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that's a good thing. That's not what's amazing. What's amazing, and this isn't real a tangent, but what's amazing is what they found. I mean, granted, this was followed up by Shrek, so I don't think you could get any further from one to the other.
Oh, no, yeah. That's, wow.
And then an animated Wallace and Gromit movie, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
So
I
they
love
literally
Wallace and
did, like,
Gromit.
hand-drawn CGI claymation.
No, Wallace and Gromit is CG.
Oh, is it?
It's a simulated claymation.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a simulation.
But it
It's a
has that.
simulation.
It has that look.
Yeah, well, I mean but the original Wallace and Gromits were all claymation over in the UK.
Oh,
So
were they?
it's
Okay.
just it's a lot faster if you can just do it
On the
in
computer.
software now.
Yeah.
But then that became a little too much because Tim Burton was like, "Oh no, we're going back to claymation and little bitty models and stuff for like his Frankenweenie and Paranorman and stuff like
Right.
that." That's full nerd mode on me. So yeah,
That's okay.
Maria, give me some Bluth.
Okay. So
All about that Bluth.
this next one, I grew up watching multiple times. This was one of my favorite movies growing up. This movie came out in 82, so it is as old as I am. And this was
Tale as old as time,
a tale as old as time. Kind of like Beauty and the Beast.
TAIL.
Except it is called The Secret of Nim. So I fucking loved this movie. I still love this movie.
It terrified me, man.
Did it really?
I just thought, I remember again, going back to talking about Bluth and just his style of animation.
It's a little
It's
scary.
not bright and cheery
It is
and
not.
colorful. It
No.
is so dark.
But it's almost very similar to The Black Cauldron.
I was
And-
literally about to say that.
And it's that kind of like dark. Disney went through that like dark phase for that couple of years where they wanted to try something that was kind of outside the box.
Were
of
these
their
the
realm.
years that Bluth was on board with them? Because I would bet money
Um,
that this is probably when Bluth was still on board with them.
probably because he did the Fox and the Hound was one of the last ones that he did.
I mean, that's dark. That's not.
No. But
Nim
it's
dark.
but it's within the same time frame as
Yeah.
The Black Cauldron was it? Is it not? It's part of the dark age.
Yeah. The Bronze Age.
No, I think it's literally called the Dark Age. Is it not?
Oh,
I don't know.
well, I didn't take.
Yeah, I forget. 81 was Fox and the Hound. So the Black Cauldron would have been after
Okay.
Secret of Nim. Okay. But for those that haven't seen the movie, it is well worth a watch. So good. It is about Mrs. Brisby and her children. She is a widow. Her husband worked for NIM. The Rats of NIM. NIM stands for the National Institute of Mental Health. And so this company, NIM, did experiments on these rats and mice. And these rats and mice became incredibly intelligent and broke loose, created their own colony on this farm. And there is somebody coming out to eradicate them the next day. So they have to move Mrs. Brisby's house. She lives in a cinder block to the other side of this big stone that her house is next to. Now, as far as the cast, there's not so many well-known names just because it came out in 82, like names that we would know. Well,
There's one.
There's
one.
There's one.
There's one.
Just one.
There's one.
Dom DeLuise.
Who is in virtually every Bluth production that came out.
Correct. So, he plays Jeremy. He is the crow. That fucking love him. He's so great. But yes, Dom DeLuise kind of becomes a staple in Don Bluth animation.
His voice totally lends itself well to animated films.
100%.
He was a walking cartoon character to begin with.
Correct.
So it works perfectly. It's like Ernie Casella.
Yes. I can remember watching him on
I
TV.
said his name wrong, didn't I?
Costanza?
No.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, no. Todd, cut me out. Just please, for me, on that. I always call him that, and it's not his name. Oh, Sabella. Pumbaa.
Oh.
I always call it Casella. Todd, I don't exist. You know what? Fucking leave it in. I'm an idiot. It's fine.
Now, there
There's your cold
is a very, very young Shannon Doherty that is the voice of one of the Brisby children. And there is also...
Well, this kind of explains her demeanor for the rest of her acting career, then, if this is where she started out. It's like, here, no, you're going to be in a cartoon, and then you're like, oh, that sounds fun, and then this is the cartoon you're in. And after that, you're like, I'm just going to mope around 90210 for a while.
Yep.
And call me Heather.
And then now I recognize this guy's face, but I don't recognize his name. Derek Jacobi? Sir Derek George Jacobi.
Oh, he's been knighted?
English
he must
actor.
know Patrick Stewart.
He must. Forceful, commanding stage presence. He was Nicodemus, who is the leader of the Rats of Nim, and kind of the one in charge of helping Mrs. Brisby move her house. But yeah, so the only two that we would really know is Dom DeLuise and Shannon Doherty. Very much opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Entirely.
Yeah. So this is based off of a book called Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim by Robert C. O'Brien. The movie is fantastic, but it is very dark. I would almost say that this would be, I guess it would still be a PG rating if it came out today, but if we had something between PG and PG-13, I think it'd be in between there.
Like a PG-10?
Yeah. I don't know that I would let my boys watch this right now. I think it would probably scare the shit out of Aiden. Kellen would be fine, because Kellen isn't scared of anything, I don't think. So, but Aiden would absolutely be terrified.
So let me ask you this. Did you watch the sequel?
No.
The Secret of Nim 2, Timmy to the Rescue?
No.
1998,
Oh,
direct-to-video animated musical.
Oh.
Is
Dom
produced
DeLuise
by-
in it? If not, I don't want any part of it.
I don't want to click on the link and find out. Produced by MGM Animation, and everything is bright, happy, and cheery in color. If I'm being perfectly honest, looking at just like the cover art for it,
Oh my!
it is in stark. It almost looks like a animated kids movie you'd watch at church on Sunday school.
It looks like in 2009, Paramount Pictures wanted to work on a live-action remake of Secret of Nim, but nothing happened there. Probably, thank God, because that should not happen. Was not nominated for any Academy Awards.
I mean, because everyone was like, "Nah, this is terrifying."
Yeah. It won a Saturn Award for Best Animated Film, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, Secret of Nim. I love it. It's one of my favorites. So good. But absolutely terrifying. So, if your kids are faint at heart, don't watch this one.
Or watch it with them and then
which is
squirm.
kind of the entire message for Bluth Studio Films. Bluth Animation is not for the faint at heart. Although Disney Animation is not really for the faint at heart sometimes either. You got a lot of dead parents.
Well, I mean, that's just the nature of that's just how cruel life
Is
can
it?
be.
That's the nature of life.
That's just it. Parents
Children
die.
who
Every one of them.
children who lose their parents.
Yep.
Okay.
They become sentient rats.
No, I don't think that's okay. Next.
All right. Well, hey, DreamWorks. A little less Steven Spielberg on this one, but it's definitely still DreamWorks. And this is for basically all of the movies that I plucked out. To me, this is the most Disney film. Just period. Like I feel like I'm in a bit of a Mandela effect because I swear to God, this was a Disney movie. But my research is like, yeah, no, it's definitely DreamWorks. But it just to the year 2000,
Mhm.
DreamWorks Animation puts out The Road to El Dorado.
I don't think I saw this at all.
I've seen this.
Have you?
And it just looks like a Disney movie. It's a little fun. It's a little swashbuckly. You got two guys as the lead characters, and they're, it's a buddy comedy kind of thing going on. There's antics with horses. It just, so much of it felt like I just knew it was Disney. And I'm doing research on this, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's not Disney? Basically, you've got two con artists. I don't know, Flynn Rider, or
Yeah.
Flynn Rider,
Or
Finn.
Flynn, whatever.
Yeah, but Flynn Wolfhard.
Yeah.
He's the guy from The Upside
No,
Down.
it's fine.
Two con artists, and they basically win the map to El Dorado in Spain, and they travel. They wash ashore in the New World, and they use the map to lead them to the city of El Dorado, where its inhabitants mistake them for gods.
This, I'm just looking at the art now. This looks like, oh fuck, what? It looks like Emperor's New Groove.
Yes,
That's like the pointed chins of the characters. You know
Mhm.
how like Cusco has the pointed chin. It just, the horse looks like a Disney horse. It just looks Disney, but it is so not.
it isn't, and it doesn't really have a lot. There's not like a lot of Disney influence in it with the guys that worked on it. Brand new directors. This was their first time directing. Eric Bergeron and Don Paul. The cast wasn't really amazing, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, yeah, Kenneth Branagh.
Wait, whoa. The cast was amazing.
I mean, not compared to the other two movies I've mentioned.
That's true. Compared to
Okay,
I got you on that one. I agree.
Yeah, Kenneth Branagh. Sure.
Wonderful.
Whatever. Okay. Kevin Kline.
You don't like Kevin Kline? I love Kevin Kline.
I mean, I listen, we've all seen Wild Wild West. Wiki.
Don't ever do that again. You made me choke on my Corona premiere.
And then you got Rosie Perez. Don't even try to ask me to do an impression of her because it'll be bad, but it'll still sound like her.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like Wesley Snipes right now.
Yeah.
Armand Assante.
Oh God, I love him.
My favorite of all of them, honestly, is Edward James Olmos. So Battlestar Galactica, pull that ass.
It's good.
But, I mean, cast aside, it's
Wait,
still,
wait.
you know,
You got Jim Cummings. Or Cummins, however you want to say it. I don't know.
it goes
And
either way.
Elton fucking John.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little sprinklage of Disney, I guess.
That's true. Well, and this was obviously it was after The Lion King, so
Right,
that's
right. But
when-
he actually helped narrate the story, so he's got like spoken word parts,
right.
which is kind of fun, I guess. And Tim Rice, who, I mean, God, that guy collaborated with Andrew Lloyd Webber for Joseph and the Technicolor Raincoat or Dreamcoat Raincoat. That's an off Broadway production.
It's hysterical.
And his name is actually just Joe.
Hey, yo,
And he
yo.
lives up. Yeah, he's in Brooklyn.
Hans Zimmer. Oh my God, I need to watch this movie.
It's a fun flick. But
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm looking at the facts and I'm still like, are you sure that this isn't Disney? Because it just looks like a Disney movie
It does.
all the way around, and that happens, I guess, to a lot of movies. They would, because you want to appeal to the audience, and if that's what, you know, if this comes out the same time as Emperor's New Groove comes out, then you want to try to mimic or imitation is the greatest form of, you know, flattery, I guess, and you end up with something like that. But it's its own story and hasn't really been redone and remade, because that's not what DreamWorks does with their movies.
Oh yeah.
Like they didn't look back and say, hey, you know what, man, it's a lot of money. Shrek, let's do a live action.
No, thank God.
No.
Yeah, Emperor's New Groove came out the same year. Came out in 2000. That's interesting that they would look so similar. All right. Well, Mikey, you were scared of Secrets of Nim. I was fucking terrified of this next one. And absolutely refused to fucking watch this. I definitely remember going to Blockbuster on a fucking Friday night and walking up and down the aisles and my brother and sister wanting to pick this one out time and fucking time again. And I would lose my shit because I fucking hated this movie so much. It's All Dogs Go to Heaven. I fucking can't.
We just watched it a couple days ago here.
Oh God. The
it's
machine
streaming
gun.
free on Tubi.
The machine gun scene where they literally like just fire every fucking bullet known to mankind at this fucking dog. I cannot. I had nightmares about that scene. It was terrifying. Terrifying. I couldn't fucking do it. Oh God, it was so bad. 1989 animated musical fantasy adventure comedy drama film. That's what they fucking say it is. I will say it again. Animated musical fantasy adventure comedy drama film. Can we just pick one? And stay in that lane. Can we just pick one? Oh God. Charlie B. Barkin is the main character.
that.
Yep. German Shepherd that is murdered by his former friend Carface, who is just basically a mob boss. Charlie withdraws into heaven and returns to Earth when his best friend Itchy is still
The
living.
voice is itchy.
Dom DeLuise. Yes, there you go. And they take revenge on Carface, or they try to. Instead, he ends up befriending a young orphan named Anne Marie, who is voiced by somebody that we don't know, Judith Barcy. I don't know who that is. And And Charlie learns an important lesson about kindness and friendship and love too fucking late because he's already dead. So,
But he went to heaven, so
well, I guess, yeah. At the end, he went to heaven.
I guess it was dog heaven.
I think, if I remember correctly, because I've only seen this movie one time, because of how terrified I was of it, I think when he dies, he goes to hell. I could be wrong.
Oh, so it's a little Mr. Toad action for you.
Yeah, a little bit. Burt Reynolds plays the main character.
Classic guy.
Yes, and then Dom DeLuise as Itchy Itchaford, which is Charlie B. Barkin's best friend.
Well, why not?
Yeah. And then, funny enough, Lonnie Anderson, who was Burt Reynolds' wife at the time,
Mm-hmm.
also has a role as Flo, a female collie in Charlie's
Now,
Friend.
I mean, there's a little more happening here because you've also got a wonderful guy by the name of Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah, I don't... Oh, hello,
He was
Dolly.
the pencil neck
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
geeky dog thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing: Dom DeLuise, Charles Nelson Riley, one Burt Reynolds. That's like 1/3 the cast of Cannonball Run, and probably the sequel. I mean, really, all you're missing is, well, God, like everybody else, Dean Martin,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of the Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
Shows up in there. Yeah, but yeah, this was like, yeah. Someone says, "Can we get Burt Reynolds for you?" He's like, "Sure," but I got some buddies who no. It goes like this: "Hey Dom, we got this movie. You like doing voices. Who do you think would act well in this?" And that's when Dom. Well, I'll call Burt. I'll call Chuck.
There you go.
Burt gets Lonnie, and Bob's your uncle at that point.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, if you're partial to puppies,
Yeah, this is not the one. It's...
I don't.
I mean, I don't know why this one, out of all of the other ones, because again, violence is pretty much the theme for Don Bluth animation. But I don't know why this one, out of all of the other ones, bothered me so much. Maybe it's because the animation looks animated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like The Secret of Nim was more not realistic, but more sharp edges.
It was a little stylized.
Yeah, it's
Proportionally, it was
Correct.
more stylized.
this is more like not. It's round. It's more comfortable.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
you
don't
got
know. I don't know how to describe it, but the animation is just more cartoony than some of the other
Itchy
ones.
straight up is wearing a hat and a shirt.
Backwards. Yeah, like it just
Well, I mean, who didn't wear a backward hat?
in the late
90s.
80s, early 90s,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think that's what bothered me, is that the subject matter was so violent, but the animation didn't match what was happening in the movie.
The tone.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It was a contradiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't.
Well, are you familiar with the sequel?
No, because I wouldn't watch it.
I will
I
say,
refused.
Charlie B. Barkin was replaced. Went from Burt Reynolds to Charlie B. Sheen.
Oh, no way.
Yep. Dom DeLuise, they must have signed him on because he went ahead and stuck around.
Well, he did everything for Don Bluth. They must have been like best friends or something.
And I don't know if you're familiar with this individual, but we go with she sang some songs back in the day, went by the name of Sheena Easton.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
And
so funny.
little Ernest Borgnine.
Oh wow, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the sequel had a little bit to it, but it was, one of those,
Oh
no, I
yeah,
don't think it was.
BB Newirth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
cool.
Don Bluth was not involved at all.
Oh, and Jim Cummings was in the sequel as well. Wow, he gets around.
Well, yep. He would appreciate hearing that, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway.
And then you had the All Dogs Go to Christmas Carol.
Yes, I saw that. Now, I will
And-
say that Rotten Tomatoes only gave the original film a 44% freshness rating, and it had a 50 out of 100 score on Metacritic.com, and it also received a thumbs down from Gene Siskel, but a thumbs up from Roger Ebert.
Well, win some, you lose some, right?
I remember watching their TV show on Sundays on PBS.
Yes, that's what it was
at the
on.
movies. Yeah, I don't know. It came out around the same time as Little Mermaid, so that's a hard act to follow, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, none of her parents died on screen. Her dad got turned into an emaciated shrimp.
Right, but then came back.
Right.
Nobody died.
And saved the day.
Yes.
Ursula didn't do so well.
Well, that's true. She did die on screen, but we hated her, so it's okay.
Did we?
I mean, yeah. She's the bad guy.
Was she?
Maybe.
She signed a contract.
Maybe that's another show.
Fair enough. Back to this show.
Yes.
So, couple. Yeah, last time I talked, we mentioned about how things were very similar between the Road to El Dorado and Emperor's New Groove visually, because they came out about the same time. Storylines were completely different.
Yeah.
But visually they look the same. Well, what happens when the subject matter is almost freaking identical and it comes out at the exact same time as a Disney movie?
Yep.
I mean, we're talking Armageddon and Deep Impact here, okay?
Oh my God. What was the other one? They were both doomsday films. Oh no, no.
Oh, volcanoes.
Yes.
There was
Peak.
and yes. I saw Dante's Peak in theater.
I remember watching
I'm not
it
happy about
at
that.
home. I remember watching it at home. What was the
Wait,
other?
was
What was
that-
the other one though?
I think it was just simply called Volcano.
No.
One was Pierce
What?
Brosnan, and one was Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Hesh, wasn't it? Was that Anne Hesh?
Oh,
It was
maybe.
Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Hesh. And the other one was Pierce Brosnan, and who else do you need besides Pierce
Yeah,
Brosnan?
no, I distinctly remember watching Dante's Peak. And then there were two that came out about alligators at the same time too.
Well, you had Lake Placid.
and, and then
Which wins
Right.
because
I don't remember the
Betty
other one.
White says, "This is the part where if I had a dick, I'd tell you to suck it."
Oh my God.
Those
That
words
is
out
the
of Betty
best
White.
thing
Yeah,
ever.
like,
Oh.
okay.
Anyway. Okay. Back on track.
So yeah, in 1998, both DreamWorks and Disney put out animated films. I guess Disney / Pixar put out animated films revolving around insects. They treated us with some insexual assault, I guess is what you would say. And
That was so bad.
thank you.
Oh my God.
I've carried that in my pocket for so many years.
Oh my God! You finally got to use
Oh, no,
it.
I've used it before.
Oh, man.
But I'm not going to. That's a whole different topic. So yeah, obviously Disney, Pixar had Bugs Life. I keep saying Pixar. Was Bugs Life Pixar?
Yes.
Okay. You had Bug's Life, which focused on a little ant named Flick, and he was a little bumbling. He meant well, but didn't always, he was frowned upon by everyone else in the colony, and so on and so forth.
Correct.
Well, DreamWorks put out one called Ants, because it ended with a Z. That's how you knew it was edgy. Whereas A Bug's Life was about all bugs, but mostly ants. Ants
True.
is pretty much about ants. And, they look a little different. I guess A Bug's Life, the ants are blue, and the ants are brown. They both still feature a main protagonist who means well, but kind of is a bit bumbling. What would you expect from a main character voiced by Woody frickin' Allen?
Oh my God. What? I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Really?
No.
He's okay. Here's your cast: Woody Allen. Hello. Sharon Stone.
What?
Things are already looking kind of fuzzy. Jennifer Lopez.
What?
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh my God, that's great.
I'm not even going to try to imitate Christopher Walken.
Oh.
Dan Aykroyd. That was more Wayne Zelinsky.
Yeah.
Anne Bancroft, who I've heard of her. Danny Glover and Gene Hackman.
Wow.
Right?
And guess who else?
Well, Jim
Jim
Cummings.
Cummings. That's pretty funny.
Additional voices, which is like 63 other ants in the background that just said shit.
Right.
Jim Cummings.
Yeah. As additional voices.
All the rest.
Oh my gosh.
So, during the production of Ants, a public feud between co-founder of DreamWorks, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and the Steve Jobs, John Lasseter folks at Pixar totally took center stage because of how similar this was to their production, A Bug's Life, which actually was a month after Ants.
Yes, I remember this. I remember seeing the previews on TV, like the commercials on TV at the same time. And we couldn't fucking keep them straight. We were like, wait, which one is that? Oh, that's Ants? But there's another movie about ants. Like, why would they do two movies about ants? It's weird. I remember watching that.
So it's like, now, I will say that most of the jokes in Ants appealed more towards adults than the kids would get them. Also, one of the things I remember most of all from Ants is Woody Harrelson's character. I don't know his fucking name in the movie, but he's in a park at a picnic, and he gets stepped on by a shoe and gets stuck in gum on the bottom of a shoe because somebody's walking, and the foot comes down on like a coin, like a penny or something. So all Woody Harrelson sees, fuck me, Woody Allen, Woody Harrelson, seriously?
I was waiting for it to happen because in my head, that's what I've been saying. That's funny.
Now, White Men Can't Jump would be a whole different movie with Woody Allen as the
Absolutely.
living with
Sure would.
Rosie Perez. So with the Cowboy Way, I think we should just redo everything and deepfake Woody Allen in for Woody Harrelson in all of his movies. Just put him in Cheers. Fuck it.
Oh.
Woody Allen's ant character is stuck to the bottom of some shoe with some gum, and it's coming down on like a coin laying in the grass, and there's another ant stuck to it with him, and he just screams because he sees this head coming up at him, this face of a president on a coin. He just screams, "Who the hell is that?" And it just, I don't know, it's just so out of place for a cartoon, but it resonated with me.
So
Because
weird.
you just see this face, and he's like, "Who the hell is that?" But it's Woody Allen's voice, so it's
So
a little
strange.
nasally, a little this, a little that. Yeah, so, I mean, I can see where this gets mixed up with Disney's A Bug's Life.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, it came out, right alongside it, right before it, actually. And it can't be coincidence that two animation powerhouses of the time work on such similar source material,
Right.
It's just, I don't know, because there's so many other things you can make movies about, but we both just decided let's just do some ants.
Yeah, it's. I definitely remember these two movies specifically and thinking how odd it was that they, like, why are we doing two of them? And then after, because I know I didn't see either of these in the theater because it was the late 90s. I was in high school. That's like, animated films are not the cool thing to go see at the movie theater. So I didn't go see any of them. And I haven't seen this movie at all. I should probably watch it.
No, it's definitely funny. And like I said, it's got a lot of jokes that go over kids' heads and adults get it.
Right. Well, yeah, there's a lot of Disney movies that have stuff like that too. But yeah.
That's all I got for, and that's by no means every DreamWorks movie that gets confused with Disney, because adults of a certain age that might remember seeing Old Yeller in theaters may just assume everything is Disney that comes out animated.
Yeah.
And so as far as they're concerned, everything from, Shrek, Despicable Me, Aliens versus Monsters,
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
You just think, well, it's a Disney movie, or like I said, definitely Trolls.
Absolutely Trolls.
But it
No, but I can
they're-
see why
they're
a
not.
kid today would think that Trolls or Sing or, any of the, what's the one with the alien?
or even like Happy Feet.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Happy Feet kind of feels a little Disney-esque.
Yeah. I think it all kind of does. Just because we know that as the animation trailblazer. So, I don't know.
Well, Happy Feet kind of tried that weird, let's try to make penguins look photorealistic, kind of thing,
Right.
like Robert Zemeckis was doing with the Polar Express,
Love that movie.
And I think sometimes that gets thought of as a Disney
I
flick
fucking
just
love that
because of
movie.
the subject matter. But the weird face, dead eye thing
Yeah.
going on with all the characters, and Happy Feet kind of had that, but with penguins.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, on the other end, you have what is Surf's Up. It's still penguins. Came out close to the same time. That's a Sony Pictures thing, and it was, but it went more of a stylized animation
Right.
kind of thing instead of trying to make these realistic penguins, look like you're actually on the ice shelf with them.
Right.
I don't know. There's only so many stories that can be told, but sometimes they roll out at the same time.
Well, the last one that I'm going to talk about is probably one that I didn't realize was not Disney for a very long time. And again, Bluth came out with his animation stuff in the 80s. So in my eyes, the big animated movie of the 80s was An American Tail. And I remember watching this at home on VHS. I remember watching the sequel. The The sequel, I think I liked better than the original, but
Well, because it was basically Back to the Future.
yes,
Three.
right.
Fievel
Right.
goes
which
west.
is my favorite Back to the Future as well. So An American Tail is about a mouse family. They are Russian Jewish. I don't know why that matters, but that's part of the plot. Who
Well, because his last name is Mouse.
that's true, yeah. And they're celebrating Hanukkah. So, and he tells his 7-year-old son, the father, tells his 7-year-old son about the United States and how he believes that country has no cats.
There are no cats in
There
America.
are no cats in America.
And the streets are paved with cheese.
Yes. So throughout a series of events, they are going to immigrate to America. They jump on a steamer that is setting sail for New York City, and all the mice are aboard are so excited to be going to America because they are truly believing that there are no felines in the U.S. Of course, during the journey, there's a thunderstorm. Fievel gets separated from his family. They go to the city. They think that he has passed away. Again, traumatic fucking experiences in these Don Bluth films. But that's fine. He's not dead. He finally...
He's somewhere out
He's
there.
somewhere out
Fucking gut-wrenching
there.
song,
Oh my
man.
God.
I hate to keep
Nope,
interrupting
you're
you,
fine.
but that's where this feels like a Disney movie because the musical
Right.
aspect of it hits. It ticks all the boxes. This ticks all the Disney
Right.
cartoon boxes, man.
So finally, he makes it to New York. He meets up with these mice, and they take him in. They make him part of their gang. A little West Side Story-ish for you. And then finally, he is able to reunite with his family at the end of the film. Everybody goes home happy. Again, Dom DeLuise is the voice of Tiger, who is one of the cats. He's
Yeah, well, I mean, he would voice
Yes,
a cat. Like
he
he kind of has a feline shape
Yes.
to him.
the only two other voices that anybody would know is Christopher Plummer, who is Captain Von Trapp, and then Madeline Kahn, who she plays a mouse as well.
Oh, I love Madeline
I do
Kahn.
too. She was so good.
Yeah.
And Christopher Plummer just passed away, I think, in the past year and a half. Yeah. So he was very good too. Very,
What a great Canadian.
very good looking man. Yeah. He played a pigeon from France.
I'm a pigeon.
Um,
So you mentioned you watched this. You said in theater.
I remember watching it at home.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw the sequel in the theater.
Well, I remember seeing it in the theater because when this came out, somehow this film got partnered up with Sears as like one of the main
Yes.
sponsors, and my mom was a manager at our local Sears department store, and all the employees got to see it the weekend before it opened for free at our local mall theater.
Oh, that's so
So
cool.
I got to go catch it like that. I mean, it was still packed, but that's my big memory from it, is getting a chance to see that in theater. And I love it. It really is, honestly, of all these movies that aren't Disney, this is probably my favorite. This is like my number one, and then Land Before Time, and then just whatever for the rest of
Yeah.
it. You know, but this one is it's a great story. And it's Bluth, but the animation on this doesn't quite hit the same way as All Dogs Go to Heaven and The Rats of Nim.
It seems a little bit more
Secret Nim.
primitive. I don't know if primitive is the right word that I'm trying to use, but it's not. There was no like. It was just like, let's just put out a movie.
Yeah.
Now, but also, again, why do companies put out 2 movies about mice at the same time? This came out 4 months after The Great Mouse Detective. So, but it did better than The Great Mouse Detective because it was the highest grossing non-Disney animated film of the time. Great Mouse Detective didn't do that great at the box office. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, this had, again, though, this is Don Bluth, but at the same time, this is also still Spielberg and Amblimation.
Right.
That's probably why it doesn't quite look the same as the others, because
That's
it was
true.
Amblimation with Don Bluth producing it. But, well, he produced and directed it, I guess. So, it was. I did really enjoy.
They say that
Five Goes West.
I did too. I loved it. They say that the shift was more of a move to an angular, modern style of animation. I don't think that I see that in. When I think of angular, I think of Secrets of Nim.
Yeah.
I don't think of. Whereas, and then like All Dogs Go to Heaven was more of like a soft, round, bright colors, that kind of animation, whereas Secret of Nim was very sharp and dark.
Mm-hmm.
And American Tail is kind of not really either of those things. So I'm really surprised that they describe it as an angular, modern style. It's kind of weird.
Everything needs to be classified.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Okay, listen to this. This blowed my mind. Okay, well, it's 1986. This is before there were cartoons, or before. I'm sorry,
before there were cartoons.
yeah. Clearly, Walt Disney didn't even exist at that time. This is before CG animation. Budget of $9 million, box office of 84.
Whoa!
It did okay.
Yeah, it did.
If you want to look at what it cost,
Holy
granted,
shit.
I don't know what that would be if you adjust for inflation or whatever, but I mean, animation back in the 90s was, or I'm sorry, 80s in the 80s,
Yes.
Was economical.
Yeah. Now, of course, Don Bluth did a bunch of other movies. It wasn't just those 4. He did Rockadoodle, which I can remember watching. He did Thumbelina, which I also always thought was a Disney movie.
The story is, it's a Disney story.
Yeah, right,
definitely.
The Pebble and the Penguin, I remember watching that one. Anastasia, that's one that I always thought
It is
now, but it wasn't then.
And, but that's a whole other argument right there.
Right, yeah. And then Titan AE, he did as well.
Yep, and those are all under the Fox blanket, so they show up.
Yeah. So yeah,
for Disney.
that's Don Bluth, and
Titan AE.
yeah,
Soundtrack by Creed, starring Matt Damon. I've seen it.
once or twice.
Yeah, fun, interesting sci-fi storyline.
I don't think I've ever watched that one. So
Animation style for Titan AE actually reminded me a lot of Treasure Planet.
yes, yeah,
I mean, it's close. It's ridiculously close. And Treasure Planet is Disney, yeah?
correct.
If I'm remembering
yes.
correctly.
No, it is. You're right.
And it is the least Disney looking animation that I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of them.
It's like they tried something
For
new.
sure. They definitely. Well, that was the time that they did Atlantis as well. Atlantis was more like a Emperor's New Groove type of animation.
Yeah, it was more like a traditional.
Like with angles and like
Yeah,
Angular faces,
but
sharp
I
angular
want to
faces.
say they did a lot of computer shading.
Yeah. Well, and
on,
Treasure Planet was one of
Treasure
the first
Planet.
movies that they decided they weren't going to. They did the Tarzan route,
Yeah.
and they had one band do the music for the movie. Whereas, like Tarzan, it was mostly Phil Collins, not all, but mostly.
God rest his soul.
He's still alive.
Yeah, but he ain't looking.
No, oh, okay. Well, maybe any day now. I mean, they took fucking Betty White. You might as well take Phil Collins too, and Olivia Newton-John's gone. So
I was
what
gonna
do we have
say
left?
that's you go back like a long time with Betty White.
It was, yeah. I mean,
It's that wound is still
still
raw.
hurts. From the windows to the walls.
I don't.
Sweat up down my balls. All these bitches crawl. All ski motherfucker. All ski. Goddamn.
What does that have to do
The proposal.
with Phil Collins?
It doesn't. It has to do with Betty White. The proposal, and Sandra Bullock was doing that in the proposal.
Oh, Sandy.
Yes, it all comes back.
It does. It does. Right back to Betty White, Lake Placid, and Ryan Reynolds.
God. Now I need to go watch Lake Placid again. Not, I mean, maybe I don't, but yeah, I.
Oh yeah, you do.
Anyway, so that's it. Those are the 8 that we. Now there are so many more.
Yeah, and we haven't even got to live action stuff.
Oh,
So we've
there's
got
so many live
we
action.
have lists.
Yes, we do.
We have lists because you think, oh yeah, it's got to be Disney. Oh nope, I'll be damned. Well, take my money anyway. It should be Disney. You missed out not making it. that's
Right.
kind of how you look at it, you know. But they can't make every movie.
I mean, they could, but they would go broke. Would they? Probably not. Actually.
Speaking of going broke, let's pay some bills.
Yeah.
I don't think that we actually do anything to pay
Nope.
bills, but I guess we should absolutely mention this would be closing remarks. I'll initiate and say, as mentioned earlier, we have events on the event page in our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/3sheets, coming up literally around the corner. Cheaters on the Seas, departing on the Disney Wish. I believe the first leg departs on the 15th. Second leg departs on the 19th. We got folks doing back-to-back. We got people like me who couldn't afford the arm and the leg, only the leg, and we're doing the second cruise. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. You know, you'll probably end up seeing lots of posts on the group when we get back to domestic Wi-Fi and can share them.
Yes.
Because roaming charges would be obscene in the open sea. Aside from that, like I said, there's other events coming up where we've got other members that are planning get-togethers, parties, and anniversary visits and stuff like that, and other cruises. And those are all listed on our events page. We'd love to connect with everybody, and we love seeing when cheaters assemble and connect with each other, even without the host being there. That's also a lot of fun. In addition to our main podcast page, we've got a gaming page, 3 Sheets Gaming on Facebook. There are groups that get together and play shit on the Wii, shit on the computer, shit on multi-platforms. It's all over the place. Definitely check us out there if you're into gaming. And if you are as far away from gaming as possible, you prefer the game of being physically fit, 3 Sheets to the finish
Nobody
line.
actually likes that, but
That is our fitness group that started out just running Disney events, but has turned into a thing where they've got monthly challenges, whether you're an Apple Watch wearer, or if you're a Garmin wearer, or whatever. You can get in there and link up and challenge each other, and there's literally no prizes. I don't even think anyone really brags. We lift
I was
each
just
other
gonna
up
say
there.
it's just bragging rights, but nobody
It-
really brags about it.
It's the only contest is trying to outdo one of the Paginas, but that's I'm sorry, the Paganos. But it's tough. I even think their kids outrun people.
Yes,
so
it's true.
Yeah. Carney
Their
Pagano.
children are nonstop, just like their fucking parents.
Right?
Just take a weekend
must-
off, you two.
They're not even going to take the week off when they go
No,
on the
I know.
cruise. 'Cause
They'll
they're
be
going to
up
be
on
the
that
cruise.
running deck, running around in circles.
It's kind of a circle. You got to go upstairs.
Yeah,
But wait, I ain't going to talk about that. Anyway, that's what I've got. What we have coming up, and please follow us on Facebook to find out what kind of shenaniganery we get into.
Yeah.
Maria,
Yes.
how about your end of the show? How about your end?
My end is fine. Thank you very much. Yeah, come in.
Using the medicated pads on it.
Yes. Oh, they work wonders. Anyway, come and join us. We're a lot of fun most days, and some days we're just drunks. But even when we're just drunks, we're fun drunks. Most days.
Fun drunks.
Yes,
We try.
we do. Good people.
All right, well, that's going to do it for episode 249, sponsored by Tux Medicated Wipes. We'll catch y'all later. This is not goodbye. See you real soon. Good night, good day, good morrow.
Good night.